My name is Forrest.
I'm Alistair.
And this is Our Father's Son.
Do you want to show me?
Show you how to shoot.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Forrest Bothwell.
I'm Alistair Coughlan, and this is My Father's Son, directed by Charles Wiley.
Okay, well, I mean, we chatted about, me and Charles, who wrote and directed the film, we talked about doing something together, right? And I think what was exciting about me working on this was that there was sort of, you had in mind who you were writing for. So there was already a sort of, it allows you to embrace bringing yourself to the role because you wrote it with us two in mind. And so of course it was a no-brainer. It's like a gift, it felt like.
Yeah, I think it was kind of that lovely, I think the gift is the right word, because it's kind of, you knew both of us already, so it kind of played on stuff that maybe you'd seen moments of, or there was a feeling that you thought we'd kind of, it played to our strengths.
Paul! You want it? Let's do. Call me again. There you
Me, it was more about what's going on under the surface, and because obviously one of the key themes I think is the idea of like maybe repression, and so I think moments like that where we see them both on the ground, it's like that's the kind of the sparky moment there is actually what I think the film's about. It's those kind of little moments. So I think kind of allowing that to come through was kind of what I was interested in when I was preparing.
It's funny how you maybe, it feels like you understand more of the film after you've done it. And the opening shots, it's almost like this landscape is the character in itself. These countrysides, they don't change every year, they're the same every year. They've always been like that. Nothing is sort of reflective of sort of the whole mentality of there's always been like, so this is what it'll always be like. But I completely agree, because that moment on the ground, well, the biggest challenge of that was trying to fall that didn't look like it was safe. It was safe, but to try to make it look real. But then that little slap was improvised.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
And that really the film is about the things people feel. It's what we felt, but what was unsaid. And you can see in that 5 seconds on the ground the things that they were feeling, but the things that they did instead, you know.
Well, I thought Forrest was an incredibly generous actor. Like you just said, the kind of allowing kind of improv or just, but like it wasn't an improvisation that was a line per se. Like it wasn't an improv that was kind of focused on what you were doing. It was very much like an offer. Yeah, I mean, I think Forrest was great, and it allowed that, it created a very safe space to kind of explore this kind of dynamic between two people. So yeah,
we're there to serve the story, and there's, you know, sort of like the sensitive, you know, the heart of it, the sensitive vehicle. I'm more in line to projecting and throwing away and laughing shit off, and you're like the core that feels a lot more, and you can see that in the short, I think. And for those two differences to come together is really what the film is, right?
Is that the same one from last season?
Yeah. Why would I get a new one?
Still new wonder so far.
Actually, this shot, I remember, this isn't an interesting point in terms of your film, but I was like, if you look at I'm switching my face a lot in this, because this is the take where I flicked my cigarette and the ash went into my eye. So I'm trying to like look at Forrest as he's talking, and I'm just like, the thing is, no one else probably spots it, but I see it every time.
Hey, hold this.
You know, everything's written for a reason, and I feel like you've seen all the little conversations, the little quips, the fact that he was like, it's all reflective of sort of the inner story, right? It's the fact that he cares deeply about this animal, and I'm like, fuck it, you know. It all feeds into the overarching like core of it, right? That's sort of speaking in sort of what do you call it, analogy.
But that's not exactly your kind of crowd, is all.
I'm good at making friends.
I didn't.
Yeah, I think for me, I guess my background's mostly theatrical, so actually having a long take actually kind of helped, I think, because I could just let it happen, and I got less in my head, I suppose. It's funny actually, that scene specifically, I think it kind of highlights bits that I think are really lovely about the film, but also maybe performance-wise, like vocally at least, it's kind of like I don't think I do it the same way now, but it doesn't mean it doesn't work, but it's just like it's really weird to like, and interesting to kind of look back when it's been like, oh, we shot it like 4 years ago.
I remember that specific long take though was a bit of a challenge because we had real bad hay fever, right?
Yeah.
And so it was a success for me to just get to the end of it without having to sneeze. And then we did that, and then one time then the camera trips or whatever.
Yeah.
Like so there's so many, it's complicated, like a lot of factors that go into like pulling off.
Because there's the wire down here as well, which you had to they had to step over backwards, and then you had to step over when you stepped out, isn't it?
Yeah.
But also like the long take was longer because originally we were around here, which you've cut. It's in the trailer, and then like we walked down here and then turned the corner, and that like the corner bit was really tricky as well.
About. Ready to make me mad proud? Do you want to show me?
Getting your aim in, are we, boys?
Well, that specific that moment
scene,
there.
I'd never done anything intimate before on screen. I think the only way you can prep for it is to just be comfortable with the actor you're working with. And then luckily we got to meet up the day before. Yeah. We went for like a walk together. We were doing a location scout, and it was on the final day, right? We did that.
Yeah.
I guess there's an argument to be made for just doing it straight away, throwing it into the deep end, but the only reason I felt comfortable doing it was because I just got to know Al and felt comfortable with him as two human beings. So then to do that on screen was then so much easier.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think like the walk and the recce of like location and stuff and the day before was kind of, because it just kind of meant that when we arrived on set the next day, like we just were relaxed with each other. It wasn't a kind of we were comfortable with each other as just people. Similarly, hadn't done any kind of intimacy on screen either. I think it's one of those sequences where it feels so intimate, but at the same time, because we're interrupted, it's kind of like there's the thought of kind of like what is interrupted, like what was potentially going to happen. And I didn't try and come up with an idea of what it could lead to. It's the first time you see them both accepting that kind of level of intimacy between themselves. So it's quite an, it's an important moment in the film, but I think also for both individual characters it's a really important moment as well.
True, and also any nervousness I had about doing it would have been mirrored by how they felt. And I think one of the best pieces of advice I got from an actor was make anything you're feeling, make it your character's problem. So instead of trying to hide that you're nervous, embrace it. And that's exactly how they would have felt for the first time, almost surrendering to like this inside voice saying that they have this something strong within them for each other that they don't know what it is. And that is terrifying. I wasn't terrified, but I was probably nervous, and that's reflective of what the story is.
What are you doing here on your own, Michael?
Well, after these last clues.
No. Now.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, I definitely had stuff from this film on my reel for quite some time. I think the reason I took it off is because I think I started to look slightly, just not quite look the same, my hair, but otherwise. And I think what you did well is that micro-budget shorts, like you relied on elements you could control. Like you relied on kind of hopefully good performances, like really nice camera stuff, like you just, and like an easy but like defined script.
Sometimes when you're doing like things on bigger scales, you're sort of just more like a one player, you're a pawn. Maybe going into this, I felt like I was providing a value, to express my own ideas, my own thoughts. You're a more integral part of the entire film because there's also less people involved, right? There's probably 8 of us staying in your house. First job that I felt comfortable enough wanting to forward my own ideas, and then that confidence I brought to other jobs, and so that's one of the biggest things I learned about it, I think. irrespective of the obvious themes of this film is about every person figuring out who they are, and that takes time, that takes years of feeling lost maybe, and making mistakes, and it's a huge thing to figure out who you are. And these, you know, young characters don't really know who they are yet, and they don't know what's right to feel. They think certain things are wrong to feel and some things are right to feel, and that will always be felt by people irrespective of background or where the world is at that moment in time, you know.
It's nice that some people want, you know, to know what happens to the two of them, but if anything, I like that it's kind of open-ended in some.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
the money is right.
I mean, I'd love to work with Forrest again. I think
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, I don't know what if this was brought back, what it would look like, or if you could or wanted to turn it into a feature or something. I don't know what that full story would look like. It's kind of like, it's not necessarily about it's about them kind of like figuring out who they are. It's more than just about their relationship. It's that I feel like maybe there's an exploration that could be had of them in tandem as well, not necessarily just together.
True. Yeah.
To you.
0.5%.
0.1.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well then,
Congratulations.
that's the bit in the video you can say, well, subscribe.